Today on the Trent Out Loud Podcast. Stretched out like 2:45. He literally stretched out his hands like 2:45. And then when he said he'll do her 3 ways, deep, hard, and continuously, I was like, what up? It's your boy Trent Out Loud, and I'm back with another episode. Let's go. All right, you guys. I don't have a big show today. It's literally like a little slow news day, but I got some goodies for you. So thank you for tuning in. I got you. All right, let's get into it. Young Thug's RICO case has officially started after months of jury selection. We actually got to see Thug. I think we got to see him before, but we actually seen him in the courtroom. I got some video of it.
290. He's called her, and me and Brown have called her also.
Yeah, man. So it's officially begun. I think all the other people of YSL have passed and gone through, and they were waiting to have Young Thug be the last one. And we're gonna see. We heard a bunch of reports that they're going to use his music against him. They're going to use his lyrics against him, etc. So it's going to be interesting to see what unfolds. Already, his defense team has already called for a mistrial, but the judge has dismissed that. But he also did get mad at the prosecution for not handing over some stuff that the defense requested, but obviously it wasn't enough to throw out the case. But defense attorneys do that all the time. Also in the case, the prosecution right away in their opening statements brought up Lil Wayne and Thug shooting at his tour bus. Listen to this.
The evidence will show that the YSL gang members that showed up at the compound that night were not allowed entry into Lil Wayne's concert, his venue. So what they did was they waited until Lil Wayne leaves, gets in his tour bus, and is attempting to leave the area. They get up beside the tour bus and they unload bullets into the man's tour bus. Bullets.
I think she did that on purpose. She knows that there's cameras in the courtroom. She knows that people love Lil Wayne, and she knows that's going to get people going. Prosecutors are always very strategic. So that just lets me know that she's not only trying him in criminal court, but she's also trying him in the court of public opinion. She knows that's going to be out there. But anyways, man, I find it hard when people are like, yo, shout out to Thug, free this or free that. They're saying that he did commit some crimes, and I think that we should wait to see the proof that comes out from this trial. I think that we should see the evidence before we scream, free this person, free that person, or whatever. You also got to think about the victims and the people on the other side. So I will say that you're innocent until proven guilty. So I'm just interested to see the facts that come out from this trial. So everybody involved, keep your head up. I hope we just have a good, honest case so that we can get to the facts of the case. Kylie Jenner has come out and admit that her and Jordyn Woods never completely cut ties. Now, again, this is I think the second or third time I'm talking about the Jenner and Kardashian clan, and I've never actually watched the show. I mean, I think I've maybe had a girl or so over, maybe they were watching it. I maybe have seen an episode or two, but me and myself sitting down, I can't tell you anything that goes on in that family. But, I do report entertainment and pop culture, and Kardashians are entertainment and pop culture 101. So they have been popping up in the news lately, of course, because their TV show is popping and their momager, Chris, needs to get the media wheels going. So let's go. But the thing that stuck out to me about this story is that I knew her and Jordyn never cut ties. And it just goes to show that, look, I know some of you might know this out there, but a lot of things you see on reality TV, a lot of things that you see on this show are not really real, man. I'm not going to say that Tristan didn't cheat on Khloe. I'm not trying to say that this story didn't happen, because the truth is, I don't know. But I do know a lot of things are embellished. And the fact that, Kylie and Jordyn were best friends, and then she went on Red Table Talk, and Jaden and Jordyn, I'm talking about Jaden Smith, Will and Jada's son, were best friends with Jordyn. And then it was a big, that was all to get us talking, watching the Red Table Talk and all of this stuff. Come to find out now, Kylie is saying that, they never completely cut ties. And at one point, actually, I think I maybe have something. Let me read it to you. So this is Jennifer Lawrence asking these questions. Obviously, there was a huge trauma many years ago, but we've recently seen that you are friends with Jordyn Woods again. How is that? How did it happen? And what's up? Kylie Jenner responds, Jordyn and we always stayed in touch throughout the years, and we'd meet up at my house and catch up and just talk through everything. We never fully cut each other off. And one day, naturally, we were like, we want to go out and get sushi, and we don't want to hide it anymore. There's a learning lesson in everything, and I think that in a weird way, everything happened how it was supposed to happen. We were so attached at the hip that we needed space to grow into the people that we were supposed to be. I needed that independence and that confidence because she was like my security blanket for so long. Jennifer Lawrence asked, I get that, and I'm happy that you still have I'm happy that you still have that in a healthy way. She was so young, she made a mistake, but those lifelong friends are very important. And then Kylie said, yeah, I agree. I don't know. Like, reading it sounds a little bit believable, where it's like, okay, I needed that space from her. She was my security blanket. We needed to grow. That sounds a little believable. But my point is, it wasn't a complete cutoff. Like everybody else out there, they got into a little disagreement. And of course, the media and the people that are building up the story that is their job blew it into something else. So there you have it. Not everything you see on the Kardashians are real. Wow. Are you shocked? Shannon Sharp, Uncle Shannon, Unc. Unc was on his nightly show. Oh man, I didn't write down the name of it. I think it's Nightcap with Unc and Ocho. I'm pretty sure that's the name. That's the YouTube show. Love that show. Love Ocho. Love Unc. Ocho was always trying to get Shannon to go on a date. I think he's single. And every time that there's like, oh, Kim Kardashian, well, why don't you date her? And every time they talk about a celebrity that's single, Ocho tries to get Shannon to see if he would go out with her. I guess it's like a little inside joke. He's like, would you be interested? Anyways, Megan Thee Stallion's name came up, and Ocho was like, yo, Unc, would you be interested? And he started talking about Megan. He said something funny, and then he said something that is a little bit, I think, a little bit over the top, or a little bit at least at the line. I'll play it for you. Here you go.
Hey, listen, can I ask you a question? You be talking about that diamond. I don't think that's really gonna work. That's the point of her name. The point of her being a stallion. It supersedes anything that you're
Ocho,
saying.
I know she.
So I think
good.
Are you scared?
No, but hey, I understand, Ocho. They look up long and you can look down. You know what I'm saying, Ocho? But hey,
yes, sir.
I have a stretched out like a 2:45. You know what I'm saying, Ocho? Don't play with me. Ocho, you better stop playing with me, Ocho. Huh? Man, please. Man, I'm Ocho boy. I bet I got that liquid down on me. I keep that liquid on me now.
A quarter to what?
3.
Meg, I know you're going to see this, Meg. I know you're going to see this.
3 ways. Do it to a 3 ways, Ocho. Deep, hard, and continuously. You know what I'm saying? That's all I got, boy.
Stretched out like a 2:45. Yo, like before he did the actual, for those of you who are not seeing this on YouTube, he literally like stretched out his hands like 2:45. And when you get that visual in your head, that's when I was like, when he first said it, I'll have her stretch out like a 2:45. I was like, okay, that's funny. I pictured the hands on a clock. For some reason, I pictured 3 o'clock for some reason, stupidly. But then when he did it, I was like, okay, kind of funny. And then when he said he'll do her 3 ways, deep, hard, and continuously, I was like, yo, Bro, it's 2023, man. Like, I get the show is, a bunch of dudes. It's a nightcap. It's late night. I get it. But, Unc, your nephew is telling you to watch out, tread lightly. You just got to be careful. How you say things about women these days, especially that he is on a really good path, man, leaving Undisputed and now at First Take, for 2 days with Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith vouched for him, and he has Club Shay Shay and Nightcap. He's on a roll. Everybody loves him. And like I said, I know that show is a nightcap show with them, drinking cigars, boys club, letting you in. I get it, but I just think they need to be a little bit careful. I love Meg too. For those of you who follow me on Instagram, I just posted up something about Iggy Azalea. Every couple of days I'm saying, I got a new baby mama or I got a new wife. But you got to be careful about, stretching people out and, saying that you want to do, what sexual acts and continuously and deep and all that stuff, So anyways, just shout out to Unc and Ocho though, man. It's a good show. In Diddy news, I tried to stay away from the Diddy story. I did report on it. I don't want to report on it every day. I tried to have my show be more uplifting and more fun topics as possible. But of course, things that are happening in the world, I feel compelled to report them. So I did the day that the Diddy story broke. I spoke about it, and I do speak about it when things come up. I don't want to trigger people out there. One girl DM'd me and was like, before you put stuff like this out, put a trigger warning. The fact that you have to put a trigger warning on something is something I don't necessarily even want on my podcast. When I first started, I'm going off on a whole separate thing here, but just give me a moment. When I first started my podcast, I actually would, die for topics like this. I wanted to talk about hard-hitting, very pulverizing topics and more worldly topics, I guess. And I don't know, I just found it very exhausting, even to myself. I felt like it was too pulverizing to my listeners. People are like, man, Trent, I liked you, but I hate that you think this, or I hate that you think that. And then just defending myself. And then to try to get people to think a different way. And I just felt like for me and my podcast, I'm trying to keep my podcast very light on the humor side and entertaining side. I want my podcast to be an escape from the real world. You have millions of podcasts and millions of shows on YouTube that deal with serious topics. I'm trying to make you laugh. I'm trying to keep you entertained. And so, this is why I try not to talk about the Diddy situation. But like I said, when things are happening, I do feel compelled to keep y'all up to date. And that's why you keep coming back and listening, because the Trent Out Loud podcast will keep you up to date with pop culture and entertainment news. Anyways, back to the show. That was like my little mini commercial. But I've always wanted to tell you guys that for my day one listeners who have listened to me from like my first podcast, who I did with Taya Long. She's a transgender friend of mine, and it was like 2 hours on transgender people and how they think or whatever. So just in case the diehard listeners out there who are wondering, I've made a decision after the 100th episode to keep it light, and I want to keep it this way all the time. All right, I mean it this time. Now back to the show. So Diddy is back in the headlines. He has two more accusers, and one of these cases, they're saying that him and Aaron Hall, and Aaron Hall is let me just continue. Him and Aaron Hall took turns forcing themselves on a female repeatedly against her will. And I just that's hard to report. It's hard to think about. It's hard to talk about. For those of you who don't know who Aaron Hall is, Aaron Hall was a lead singer of an R&B group, I think in the 80s. I don't know, they're back in the day, but like their name was Guy. Yeah, I mean, I've seen a couple of clips online of him like talking about girls and talking about having dudes at his house, and that how he has a big thing and he would do it in front of his boys to make everybody know how large he was. And it's just this case here is very damning to both Aaron Hall and Diddy. The Cassie thing, of course, was the accusations are crazy, but Normally when you hear like the other cases, they're like more like dummy cases, and they kind of just don't really land, and it sounds like it's girls that are, just trying to have like a money grab, or trying to like, oh, I never even really met him, when you dig deep. But then now you're seeing like this case, some of it is actually worse than Cassie's case. You're taking turns forcing yourself on a woman with you and your homie. Yo, man, I know these are allegations, and it might not be true, and his Diddy's people have come out and said that he denies all these allegations. But wow, the stories that are coming out about these entertainers from the 90s and early 2000s are getting crazy. Having said that, last time I talked about Diddy, I still don't understand how come we have no criminal charges? How come we don't have any criminal investigations? And again, like what I said last time, maybe there is, and we just don't know, because when cops are investigating, they don't want to tell people. But not all these cases we're hearing are all civil cases of women suing for money for these damages. I hope that if these allegations are true, that there is some evidence to go along with these allegations, and these people can be put in jail, including Diddy, Aaron Hall, and any of our favorite R&B hip hop moguls, people who we looked up to and admired for all of these years. I don't give a crap about that. If these guys did these things and there's proof, undeniable proof that these acts happen, like, I really hope that there are charges laid and these guys go to jail, because these stories are sounding crazy out here. Anyways, like I said, I really, even for my own mental, I don't even want my mind to go to these places. But I hope that there's some sort of closure, and these things don't just sit and pile up in civil suits, and people are just doing this to get paid, because that kind of stuff people getting paid is not going to stop dudes from doing what they're doing. So that's my 2 cents. Okay, Canadian news. Yesterday, we highlighted Canadian content creator Bilal Dawson. And today, I'm highlighting Chromazz. Chromazz is a Toronto hip-hop artist. I'm sure some of you listening might have heard of Chromazz. She is Toronto's first lady. Drake has shouted her out. I mean, I think she's the most popular female rapper in Canada. A lot of people don't like her music. She is an OnlyFans model. She does very light porn. She's done stuff with Adam22 and Lena the Plug. Was very soft. Her nipples, I think you could say nipples, right? Her nipples had like tape on them, so she didn't show that during the scene. And Lena was doing things to her husband, and Chromazz wasn't there. So a lot of people are like, "Yo, she's not really an artist. She's not a hip hop. She's not a hip hop artist." But I like Chromazz personally. I like some of her music. I think some of her music, she's putting it out there because she knows that she has a lot of guys following her on her OnlyFans, and she's going to get streams and do all of that stuff. But there's 50 girls, or more than 50, hundreds of girls a week that are doing that. So I hate that, Canadian artists can't do that, but you have women from around the world. So that's why I applaud Chromazz for doing what she's doing. She's making her money. Little X just put her in his Robin Hood show that was on CTV. She was on Adam's podcast. She was on Fan Bus. Again, these are things that I'm talking about that are in the soft porn industry, but it's still in the US, and she's still getting her footing. She has 600, 700,000 followers on Instagram. And she says she's making money on her OnlyFans. So I like her hustle. She's beautiful. She's super pretty. She's all natural. So anyways, for my listeners who don't know, go check out Chromazz. Her Instagram, I think, is Chromazz416. Let me just check on that. Yeah, Chromazz416. And for those of you guys out there who don't know who she is, you're going to thank me, because like I told you, she is super hot. But anyway, she's releasing a music video called Dirty. Here's a little clip.
Like on Kirby, shoot it on my mountain like Curry. I like it dirty, so dirty. I got it dirty, it's twerking.
All right, shout out to Chromazz, Canadian hip hop. And before I leave off of this subject, yo, Toronto is stepping up in the music scene, man. Montreal definitely has their artists, but Toronto is killing it right now. I want to see some Montreal artists. I want to see some Montreal female artists and dudes. Dudes are doing it, but yo, these female hip hop artists in Toronto, because they see what's going on in the States. Female hip hop is huge in the States. There's never been a time in 50 years of hip hop that we had this many women with hits, bro. Like hits, Coi Leray, Lotto. Actually, you know what? I don't want to start naming them because I'm going to forget, but yo, y'all know out there that women are killing it right now. If you ask me, the women are way hotter than the men, excluding Drake. But yeah, women are killing it. So shout out to Toronto. And there is no sports news today. Oh my gosh. Actually, let me just see. I didn't even watch the Monday night game because I was doing a live on IG. Let me just check who won the game. I actually had it on, but I knew it was such a low scoring game. It looked boring. All right. Chicago beat Vikings by 2 points. Chicago Bears 12-10. Bears are now 4-6. Vikings are 6-6. None of these teams are making the playoffs. I mean, Vikings might make the wild card, but waste of a game. And that's why I did my live. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy, Trent Out Loud. Peace! Go to signupexpert.com/Trent. And then once you sign up for all betting apps and get all your bonuses and get all your rewards, go to your app store and download BetStamp and use promo code TOL.